Good evening, my movie girls. Today is day 20 of the Ultimate Movie Geek's Halloween countdown. 31 films in 31 days. And tonight we watched Whatever Happened to Baby Jane.
I found her. She was missing yesterday. I found her.
I'm back.
She's back. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane? 60s film. I'm not too sure what year.
67.
67. It's black and white, which is surprising, seeing as, colour was around. Sort of did the same thing that Psycho did and filmed in black and white when it really didn't need to. But obviously it's...
I think it's a nod to the
old
two main characters, which is John Crawford and Bette Davis, which were just massive movie stars in their 30s and 40s.
Rivals, you said.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because it takes that route in this film. Shall we go through what the story was? Because I don't think many people know of it. Or
I think they were proper movie buffs would know of it.
I didn't know. But then my Ultimate Movie Geek name is tongue-in-cheek. Alright, the story. Two sisters who were actors. One was Baby Jane, she was a child star. And the other was... she became an actress later in life.
Yeah, the sister who laterally she was like a huge movie star. But when Baby Jane, Blanche Hudson, when Jane Hudson was Baby Jane Hudson, Blanche was always in the sidelines with the mum, so she was very like a mum, very meek and mild. Stood in the wings while Baby Jane was the centre of attention.
Yeah.
She starred with her dad. Her dad would come out and do numbers with her.
Yeah.
And when you look at all the variety magazines we were on, so she was very, very famous. Yeah. But as they grew up, Blanche then became a famous actress even. And the start of the film shows you two like execs sat in a thing watching a film. And just going, she's awful. And they were talking about Baby Jane, even though she's very beautiful, she can't act. And then because Blanche is so in demand and such a high paid actress, she puts it in that Baby Jane has to be in the movies. She has to have a movie, yeah. So she kind of is trying to look out for her sister, even though she was always pushed out from years ago. And it kind of goes from about 1912 when they're kids up to 1930s when they're really famous. And in the famous sort of 30s when the height of the career, it sort of shows you somebody in a car. And one's walking down the driveway to open some gates, and then the other lady puts the car in and starts to drive, and there's just this big crash, and it kind of flashes forward, doesn't it, to like present day. And
Blanche is in a wheelchair, and Jane is looking after her.
Yeah.
And it's interesting though when they are, because you see a lot of old films with them in, and I didn't realise as well that it was actually old films that they were in.
Yeah.
So they were using footage of them from when they were in the heyday, which is really cool.
Yeah. And you realise how beautiful they were, how glamorous they were. I mean, it's still. And
then you've got to think as well, like Bette Davis, like the two execs are watching one of her films, and they're saying that she's god awful, and he's like saying, "Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, this is awful." You know what I mean? So
actually, she rated one of the most famous actresses of all time. So it's John Crawford.
Yeah, it's good.
But it kind of shows you them. They're living in this house in LA, and it's probably worth millions now. Yeah, it's a mansion,
isn't it?
Yeah, and Baby Jane is looking after her sister. She's sort of looking after her. She's very bitter.
Very bitter.
Even on her face,
down to her makeup.
She's bitter. Yeah, everything about her is bitter.
Everything pisses her off.
Yeah, and it's like a special on, and they're showing all the old movies of her sisters of Blanche Hudson's, and it keeps cutting to the neighbours, which I thought was a bit...
Because they didn't do anything in the end, did they? No.
but the neighbours were sort of new to the area and they were like, oh, they live next door to us, and they were sort of sat
watching
the
her
film
films
saying, oh, we want to go and see her. And it kind of is just her, like, she hates everything that she's got, even though she's still living in this nice house and her sister's paying for everything. She's housebound upstairs. She kind of has a maid that comes in a couple of times a week and sort of probably helps her see to her finances and things.
Yeah.
And it kind of evolves from there that I think baby Jane is getting worse and worse. She's probably always had severe mental health issues.
They mentioned the drinking as well.
They mentioned the drinking even when she was at the height of her
acting,
fame.
yeah.
And I mean, it showed you an empty cupboard, didn't it? And she was ordering like
just
6
empty
bottles of scotch,
yeah.
and so she's a very heavy drinker. But then you can see the cogs are turning, and she just wants rid of her sister now.
She knows what she can do. Yeah.
She thinks she's going to be famous again.
Yeah.
So she tries to start getting rid of. So she tries to like fire them there. She gives her the week off, then she fires her, doesn't she?
Yeah. Yeah.
So obviously she's coming in, but even before that, she's doing little things like. She said, I'll go and clean the bird's cage, because obviously she's stuck in her room, Blanche.
She can't do anything.
So she absolutely loves this little bird that she's got, and she brings it up, doesn't she? She goes, oh, I was cleaning it and it flew away.
Out, but you know.
And the
what
maid said,
happened.
but I bet she did that on purpose, but she did it on purpose. Even she knows she's horrible.
Yeah.
And then later that day, she serves it up to her as a meal. So she's very, you can see, you know, she's not a well person.
But it's good because she does that. And then she brings another meal, which then Blanche doesn't touch, and then Jane comes to take it away because she hasn't given her breakfast in the morning. She didn't eat her din-dins.
Yeah.
And then she's like, there's nothing wrong with it, and she eats it.
Yeah.
And then later on, she brings another meal and just leaves the room and says, oh yeah, we've got rats in the cellar.
Yeah.
Then leaves and waits outside. And there's a rat on the food.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can see the increase of abuse.
Yeah.
And how it's
manic. I mean, she was a cracking actress.
Yeah, she
Davis.
was.
Like, just the cut to her laughing with pure joy that because she can hear her sister scream, like pushing the food away because there's a dead rat, and like she's just manic. She's almost Joker-esque, isn't she?
Yes,
even
the makeup, because like she's got makeup on, but because it's black and white and the colour that she's using, she's just white with black lips and black eyes, and she looks
red water, but she's just crazy. And then she thinks she's going to start up again. She thinks that she's going to be a dancer and a singer, so she advertises in this. I don't even know what he is. What did you say?
It was Batman. He was King Tut in the 60s Batman.
I thought he was.
You thought it was
Thingy Munster,
Grandpa Munster.
Munsters, but I don't.
No, he's been in a few things. Yeah. Not too sure.
But then he sort of applies for this job. She puts an ad out, and he goes and starts doing like playing piano, and like she's about to give him loads of money, so he's thinking happy days. Yeah. But he's got worries about because his mum says,
his mum's telling her what's
realise
happened.
Who they are, and she ran her sister down when she was younger, and this, that, and the other. So he goes round. But this is all getting to like a penultimate point, isn't it? Where she's like tied her up and she just wants rid of her. She's been practicing the signature. She
can mimic her voice perfectly, which I thought was quite clever.
Yeah,
clever
she
thing.
did that very early on, and I forgot about that, of why she did it.
But what made me laugh is if she could do all this, why wasn't she a good actress?
Yeah, well, it's probably taken years to come. Yeah, she uses the voice because her sister manages to get down the stairs because she cut the phone out from upstairs. She manages to get down and ring the doctor. But then she quickly rings him back. She comes in, knows who she's been on the phone to, rings him back, and mimics her, and just says, "Oh no, it's okay. We're gonna go and use another doctor." And
but as soon before that happens, though, she beats the crap out of Blanche.
Yeah, this is the bit I said to you. It was very taboo, really, in those.
We looked it up, and it was in the UK. It was rated X. So. Well, you can see
why. I said there's a bit in it that's quite shocking, and it's the abuse of the sister where she's kicking her and properly laying into her.
It's really cut well because you see her kick her head, but obviously it's not a head, and then you see like shots from above and below. I mean, and she's kicking and she's hitting and all that stuff, and it's quite brutal.
Yeah, it's
really,
quite
even
shocking.
for today's standards, it's something you don't really expect it, and then. Wham! It's there.
Yeah.
And
it's I mean, parts of it, and it's 1960s and filmed in black and white, so there's parts of it that you know, and the way Bette Davis is with harking back to probably the 20s, it is quite dated.
Yeah, it is, and she is portrayed as the innocent. But I suppose that is turned on its head as well.
Yeah.
But the music, the way you see when Bette Davis is on screen, and the music is quite fast, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then when you get to Joan Crawford, and she's soft and yeah. So there's
there is a twist, isn't there? There is a twist. Yeah. So all the way through, you just think, "Gosh, she's horrendous."
Nasty.
I can remember as a kid feeling a bit sorry for her.
Only
because she was never, apart from when she had the limelight as a kid, then she just never had it, and all she wanted to do, I think, was be famous.
But I think the scene at the beginning when she comes out of the stage, and she's talking to the dad, she's like, "I want ice cream." No, you got to go for your nap. She's nasty. She's a horrible little kid.
Yeah.
So it's you begin the film with knowing that she's not a nice person.
Yeah.
And then, by the end of it, you think, well, actually,
she's horrible.
She is horrible. She deserves what she gets, but she's cracked too.
Yeah. And then, sort of at the very end,
no, we'll spoilers, because if you don't want to watch, if you don't want to watch it, there's going to be spoilers first, because we put spoilers on at the beginning.
So at the end, it gets to an escalated point, and the guy who she's got in to do the music,
Edgar,
he comes round drunk, doesn't he? And she lets him in, and then he's banging upstairs, and it's the sister who's managed to free her hand because she's tied up and gagged by that point.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of throws a table down. And he runs up, and he sort of opens her. He can't believe what he's seeing. He's really drunk, but he's really shocked. And he gets out. Well, you think he's going to go and ring for help. I don't know if he did. It wasn't.
No, he went straight into the liquor store.
But then she was like, he's going to tell, and you were like, oh my gosh, she's going to go in and kill her. She's going to beat her to death or something.
But she doesn't.
But she holds. I mean, Bette Davis must have been pretty old in this, and she's dragging Joan Crawford.
That's what I mean. The physical acting in this
and she's
is
up and down
amazing.
The stairs. It's very
you've got the scene where Joan Crawford is climbing downstairs, and she's got no use of her legs, and you can tell that she's not she's moving her legs.
Her legs are up,
and she's holding herself up on the banister, walking down. Maybe they did it with a winch or something, but a winch.
It'll have been in the 60s, I think.
But then, like you say, Bette Davis then comes in and drags Crawford out, and the shot lasts for a long time, because she goes out of the room through the landing, and you can still see on the landing.
Yeah. She basically gets her down. You don't see that, but she gets her downstairs, gets her in a wheelchair, gets her out, gets her into the car.
Yeah.
She's like, "We're going to go to the beach. I always love the beach." And she basically goes there because it reminds her of being a kid and doing it all. And they're there for all day, aren't they? And
from
it
the night,
cuts to the radio, and it's like, oh, the maid's
been found. She killed the maid as well.
Killed the maid. And like the sisters are missing, and we think this has happened. So I think that's why that guy had come forward.
Yeah.
But as this is sort of all unfolding, and there's cops sat listening, sort of quite near where they are. It's a really popular beach, and they're talking, and she thinks she's dying, Joan Crawford.
Yeah.
So she says to her, "I need to tell you. I've been trying to tell you for a long time. You didn't cripple me." She said, I was driving, and she said, you were opening the gates, and she said, you were so drunk, I drove, and she said, and you've been so mean to me and so cruel, I just wanted to kill you. And she said, I drove at you, and you got out of the way. She said, and I crashed and I snapped my spine, basically, in the accident. So she did it to herself. But all in years, and she said, when they found me, I'd crawled out, and they thought that you'd done it. And I just let them believe that you had, and you were so drunk you didn't know.
She used the word as well. She said that you were so beautiful, but then I made you ugly.
Yeah.
Which I thought, that's brilliant.
Yeah. You're beautiful, and I even made you ugly. That was my fault.
So none of them are innocent, really. No. And just not, but
she did say as a kid when it was earlier on, and the mum she'd been shouted at by the dad. Yeah. And the mum went out to her and hugged her because she was sort of watching on the side, and she said, oh, when you're famous and you're thingy, she went, you should just remember, be nice to them, don't be mean like they are to you. And she went, I won't forget. So obviously she didn't, because she let her sister for all them years believe that she'd done that to her.
Yeah.
It's a really dark story.
It is.
It's not scary. I think it'd be scary if you stuck in the room with her
and your
sister. It's
more along the lines of you see yourself from Crawford's point of view, And what would you do in that situation? There's a few times I was like saying, well, why didn't she just shout out the window?
Well, she tried, didn't she?
But every time she tried to shout, Jane would appear, and so it'd be like, yeah. And you can't, and it's like,
and even when she chucked a note out to the neighbour who was trying to always get over to see her, like she'd come across, she'd saw it, so she picked it up.
Well, that scene as well reminded me of something else, and I can't for the life of me remember what it is.
Yeah.
It's where someone is trying to get help. It might be something like Misery or something.
It reminded me of Misery at points, I think, because of the wheelchair and he's stuck in this place
under control of someone else.
Yeah, and like when she's in the wheelchair and she's so frustrated, she's like spinning around, and that's her in turmoil, isn't it? Like literal turmoil. I really enjoyed it. I've not really watched it for a very long time. I watched it as a kid with my mum and dad. But I mean, you know about it. You know about whatever happened to Baby Jane.
I had never seen it. I didn't really know about it.
Have you never heard of it?
No.
I think it won a few Academy Awards.
Well, when I was looking, I think the guy who played Edwin,
yeah,
he was up for.
He was rubbish as well.
No, but he got. I think he got a nomination for Academy Awards.
I'm going to give it 4 ghouls.
I'm going to give it 4 ghouls
simply because it still works.
Yeah, it does.
It's dated, but it still works. It still puts you on the edge. You were going, "What are you doing?" You did that for you. Like, "What are you doing? Why are you doing that?"
Don't put the hammer down.
And it was nice to watch you because you've not seen it before. It's good, and I think it's, you know, people don't always rate the older actors, and actually, I think these two, proper credit where credit's due. They're amazing actresses.
Yeah.
Very, very well acted.
Well acted.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Both
they
of
were
them
brilliant.
Very believable.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. Bette Davis is an absolute psycho.
She is, yeah.
Yeah. Although my sister always says that her reminder of Bette Davis for some reason.
I know where the hammers are.
Yeah. What are we watching tomorrow?
Tomorrow is, you know what? I know. It Follows. So from an old one to a fairly new one. I've never seen that either.
I don't think I have.
Then we will see you tomorrow night. Thanks for watching. I'm the Ultimate Movie Geek. Please like, share and subscribe. Good evening, everybody. Sleep tight.